gentlemen, you're watching a special edition of GEEKCASTER. We're talking about the slap that ran across the world. Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. It's been a lot. We have to decompress. That's what this is all about, because everyone's been talking about this, and some time has passed, almost 24 hours, and we finally got some kind of apology towards Chris Rock. And
Chris Rock also.
Say it again?
Also, Chris Rock did a public apology as well.
And let's talk about that. All right, so I'm Michael, and we have Dayveonne Bussey. We have the magical, mystical Jade, and of course the one and the only Corey Davis. Let's talk about Chris Rock apologizing, because let's start there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he has anything to apologize for.
I agree with
a controversial statement.
I agree too, because to be honest with you, as far as I know, he was paid to basically be the nominee, one of the people to nominate people. He was paid to basically clown around and do what Chris Rock does, pretty much what he does as a comedian. You know, he tells
you mean he was paid to be a commentator, a host, to basically not a nominee?
No, he wasn't a host. He was just a nominator, like a person that said, these are the nominees.
He was a presenter.
Presenter, thank you.
Gotta use the right words. Come on, it's 20.
Well, because he wasn't a nominee of anything. He was just telling them.
Yeah.
All right.
He wasn't nominated for anything but a big slap in the face.
So let's jump into that. He did
I'm going
not
to
know
disagree.
that Jada Pinkett had any issue. He did not know, and it's not really his business to follow her and to know.
And I agree, except that Mr. Chris Rock about black women and their hair. So regardless of anything, regardless of her alopecia, he still was being hypocritical by making that joke when he himself had made a huge documentary talking about how important black women and their hair is and how you shouldn't talk about it. So for him to make a comment regarding that is a little hypocritical.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that sentiment because a lot of people make fun of how celebrities look like they're in the limelight. So if you remind us of something, whether it be G.I. Jane, whether it be Charlize Theron or Angelina Jolie in Salt, if you remind someone of another actor or another figure in pop culture, why is that bad? And
because this was specifically about her hair. It wasn't, he could have made all kinds of jokes, so he could have found better wording for the joke he was talking about, but he aimed it toward her hair, which is an issue. That's the issue. And I don't think that's right.
And I think it was a lack of hair.
Yeah.
I think again, and I also have an issue with the fact that the reasoning, or most people have this reasoning of that celebrities, because they're celebrities, that they're just open targets. I don't believe that that's true. They're still human beings at the end of the day, regardless that they're celebrity. That's their job. We, as the public, have made them into these things that they are not. That's our fault. That's not theirs.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm defending Chris Rock's point. Like, it was a joke. He was not being malicious or attacking anyone. And that's what I said. Like, when
the joke was regarding her hair.
Right, but she's been
and he has previously produced and starred in a movie about black women and their hair, advocating how other people had no business talking about black women and their hair. And that's exactly what that joke was. He could have made a million jokes about Jada Pinkett Smith, because I could think of about 15 right off the top of my head. And it didn't have to be about that.
But if I could finish my point.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, sorry. Jada Pinkett has worn her hair short for a long time. This isn't something new. She's been dealing with.
And still, again, it's still about her hair. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she doesn't have alopecia.
It wasn't about her hair. That's the thing. If someone looks like,
what was the punchline? Explain to me then a punchline about G.I. Jane. Why would it have been about G.I. Jane then?
Because if we look at anyone,
Because it's about her hair, because she had short hair.
Anyone could look like G.I.
Her
Jane.
hair? You hear that word in there? Hair?
What hair?
Her
Where was hair? Anyone could look like G.I. Jane, right? If you cut your hair off and you look like G.I. Jane, if I look like G.I. Jane,
I'm not
anyone
black.
could look like G.I.
I'm not
Jane.
black. You can talk about my hair all day. I'm talking about black women in their hair, and which he advocated for, that you don't talk about black women in their hair. He shouldn't have said it.
But if any black woman who cut her hair, they could obviously make that correlation between what was the black?
I'm not saying the correlation can't be made. I'm saying the joke is in bad taste, and he's being a hypocrite about it. If somebody else had made the joke about some other person in their short hair, that's fine. Any black woman with short hair, he shouldn't have said the joke about. If he believes, according to his documentary, that you shouldn't talk crap about black women in their hair.
But this is what I'm saying. Let me finish this point. When Iman was the one model that everyone equated to a black person having short hair, if you were black and you cut your hair short, boom, automatically you're Iman. And that's what he was doing. He wasn't attacking anyone. If you look like a pop culture and figure, i.e. G.I. Jane, and you cut your hair, it doesn't matter what race you are. If you look like this pop culture figure, they're going to associate you with that pop culture figure. So the jokes have not changed. It's just a new dawn, a new era, and everyone is taking it farther than where it should go.
I disagree with that.
And the only reason, actually, because Jade and myself spoke about this earlier, the only reason why we're going such a deep dive on Chris, because of how Will Smith conducted himself. Because if he didn't, we wouldn't even have this conversation.
Absolutely.
So if you think about it, we're offended, or some people are offended as a chain
reaction. I think
reaction,
they're both wrong.
Only
I think
because
one is wrong and one is right. I think they're both equally wrong.
But would you have felt that way if Jada Pinkett wasn't? It's like she has every right to feel any kind of way and to be upset if she didn't want to take that joke. So that's fair, right? But
I want to say something.
If she didn't, go ahead.
All right.
Wait, if it's something different, let me finish this. If she didn't get upset, we wouldn't have this conversation. No one would have attacked Chris Rock. Everyone's, that's cool, because here's if I wore a big hair or a wig.
I wouldn't say no one. I think if people, there's enough people on social media and loving to stir shit up.
Well,
I think that
be talking about it tonight, that's for sure.
I'm just saying that if there would have been somebody who is a Jada fan or whatever, and the people who know, I'm one of those people who know, not that I'm a fan, but I know that she has alopecia. I found the joke in bad taste. It was a joke in bad taste. Now, does that happen often? It absolutely does. My problem is that the hypocrisy of Chris Rock in itself, of telling a joke, being pointed, and the part of the joke is about her hair. In any regard, he could have made, like I said, there's a million jokes he could have made. That didn't have to be the one.
Okay. Well,
to stay in line of what he practices. And what he practices and what he says he preaches. That's what I'm saying. But go ahead.
All right. So what I was about to say is, think of it as this. Since Chris Rock didn't know, would it be different if there was another person that said the same comment? Would you think this would be the same reaction? Meaning,
yes.
If it was
of Jada Pinkett Smith?
Correct. Okay, for instance, if it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
We had that conversation.
No. If it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if we're going to break it down, if it was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that said that comment, and I'm just using him as an example.
Yeah.
Do you think the outcome can be same or a little bit different?
The only difference would have been Will Smith's reaction. I'm talking about Jada Pinkett's reaction.
Okay, we're not looking at...
Why not? Because she is the core of the issue.
Okay, so she basically gave Will the signal.
She didn't give him any signal. She just made a face. She was upset. He saw that she reacted, so he, through his ego, because that had nothing to do with her, that was through his ego and his reputation, and he got up and did something. And I do believe, yes, because it was Chris Rock, it made it easier for him to be all postured.
Exactly.
Absolutely. But like I said, they are both wrong. But I'm talking about Chris Rock speaking about Jada's hair. I am specifically talking about that, and the fact that as a man who claims it's like, if you claim you're an ally, you can't talk crap about the people that you are supposedly an ally for. You can't do it. If you believe with your whole self that you think that no one should be talking about black women in their hair, you need to shut up.
But the thing about it is,
I do want to make a
here's another
transition
thing.
back to Will.
Okay, go
because
ahead. Go
we're going
ahead.
to keep going in
Go
a
ahead.
circle with this.
Yeah.
And I do want to go into Will because I think that's very interesting. So hopefully we can leave Chris
That's a
Rock.
bigger
That's
thing.
a big thing, but
Yeah.
we're getting to a certain point where comedians can't say anything. 90% of the jokes during every award show are a little off color, a little to the left or right. Every single one, one. But it's one of the it's par for the course. For the sake
It's
of
also a
comedy.
fine line. I don't know if they can't say anything. I think the problem is that humor has become about degrading people, and that's what people are finding funny. There are plenty of things that are fun. Listen, I come from a family who are super duper Christian. I have pastors and ministers and deacons in my family. And when we go hang out, because they don't talk crap. I'm the crap talker. They don't talk crap. But my cousin Joe, who's a pastor, is the funniest person I know. He cracks me up, and it's completely wholesome. He is not putting people down. He is not, attacking people for their shortcomings. He is just funny. There are things that are funny that don't have to do with taking people down. Unfortunately, humor has come to this place where, apart from toilet humor, because that seems to be a big deal too, it's become very juvenile, and this is where we're at. It's not that they can't make jokes anymore. I'm looking for them to up their game. Let's actually be funny. I can rip people and talk crap.
That's the whole issue right there too, because that's what I disagree with. You're saying that it's attacking or degrading, and he specifically said that he did not know that she had alopecia when the late Chadwick Boseman was dealing with his.
And you're totally overriding the fact that
Wait. Let him finish. Let him finish.
Go ahead.
Before the late Chadwick Boseman, before anyone knew that he had cancer, everyone was making jokes about his role and how much weight he lost. And it wasn't until the fact that we knew that he passed away from a serious health issue. Jokes stopped. I'm not saying that ignorant is bliss, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but when we're sitting here talking about the comedy and you're making jokes about something that you're relating to, how is it like we're bastardizing the fact that she has a medical condition? He made a joke that he even said was not about her hair. It was about G.I. Jane. He tried to defend himself on stage.
How is it not about her hair? And it's about G.I. Jane. What was the reference that would point at Jada Pinkett Smith to make it about G.I. Jane? Her hair, no?
No.
Black woman's hair. At the end of the day, it's absolutely wrong.
I'm going to interject. Court, let me interject. Let's defend what he meant by G.I. Jane. G.I. Jane doesn't necessarily mean hair. It could be the bulkiness, the body tone.
Exactly.
At the end of the day,
that's what it's about.
Debbie Moore.
You're reaching. Sorry, I'm out of that.
Yeah. And Demi Moore is Caucasian, so the workout material, it don't has to necessarily be the hair.
No.
You really believe that?
No.
You really believe that?
Stop. Now
Don't
you're
be
going too far.
ridiculous. Really, don't be ridiculous, because then your credibility went out the window for me. Because that's ridiculous.
Stop. Yeah. At the end of the
day,
Demi Moore had a baldy,
you're trying to rationalize
and Jada Pinkett.
What I'm saying, telling you, he made a joke. G.I. Jane, we all know it was about her hair. Period. End of story.
Right.
What I'm saying is that whether it was funny or not to whoever it was funny to, the point is, because if somebody else had made the joke, I wouldn't necessarily felt the same way. The fact that a person who advocates for women, and you don't talk crap about black women and their hair, I have a problem with that. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? If you really but actually, Jade, the documentary, right? If we're going to go on the...
That's the joke of comedy, right? If you're saying,
I don't know, we're getting like this computer going in and out thing. So hold on a second. Hold on.
I still think Andrew Dice.
Time out.
You're referencing. First of all, they're getting a lot of glitches because we're live and stuff. But the referencing the film, it was about the texture and women loving the texture of her hair, not the lack of having straight hair versus curly hair.
We lost you.
What happened?
And he's still, and I told you, and even in a former in one of his former stand-ups, he talks about how you don't talk about black women and their hair. Period. End of story. End of story.
Okay.
And in that way, he was a hypocrite. He saw a quick joke. He made it. It was wrong. It was wrong. It was wrong. I'm not saying if another comedian had made that joke toward Jada Pinkett, if it was another girl with a short hair that wasn't Jada Pinkett Smith, it might have been funny. A white woman might have been funny. And he said G.I. Jane, it might have been funny. But like I said, he says, he's telling other people, you don't talk about black women and their hair. But he can when he feels like it, because it's a joke.
Yes, and that's the whole crux, right? There's certain things that we say that we can joke about, and there's some things. There's some things that some people say that they can't talk about, right? But that's what I'm saying. You can talk about. Some people can talk about 9/11. Some people could talk about black people dying in the streets. No matter who it is, if
but
someone
if you make it a joke, it's okay. Then you're saying.
But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, jokes are subjective, right? Some people are going to say that joke was funny. Another set of people will say that same exact joke is offensive and shouldn't be said.
Okay, so a joke. Who's finding black people dying in the street funny? Good people.
A lot of people. A lot of people are talking about it.
You. Good people, kind people, real people. Yeah, they're finding that funny.
Yes, depending on the person that tells the joke.
That's hilarious.
People, like I said, some people find a joke about really disgusting topics that we talk about funny because of the way that
What kind of people find those jokes funny?
What do you mean? People who go see these comedians. I can give you a lot of people that you may say are offensive, like Anthony Jeselnik. You can talk about Dave Chappelle. Some people talk about Paul Mooney. No matter who the comedian is, if they say a joke, there are some people who will say one joke is funny. Another set of people will say that joke was offensive. It shouldn't be said. But we talk about molestation and Michael Jackson all day long.
I'm just saying that I agree with. And you still have not addressed it or accepted that.
What do you mean? I just addressed it. We're talking
specifically, he's a person who advocates for you don't talk about black women and their hair.
And also, another correction, he did one documentary. That doesn't make you an advocate.
It doesn't matter. It does not when you sit there and you talk about it. Not when you sit there and that's what you're standing for. I listen, I agree with you on a general scope. Right. It doesn't make him an expert in any capacity. Right. But you can't sit there and talk about that and say that that's who you are. Not to me, not in my world. You can't sit there and pretend that he shouldn't have made the documentary. If you are not passionate and you don't really believe in what you're saying on that thing, then you were just a narrator and call yourself that. But he wasn't a narrator. He was like, I directed, I produced, I did the whole thing. I believe that this is true. And I'm advocating because I'm advocating for my daughters. But you're not advocating. Then only your daughters? Is that what you meant, Chris? Because that's what I want to know.
All right, so here's the transition. So let's flip the other side with Will Smith.
Yeah, he's wrong too.
He gave. I think everybody
can get it from Jade.
Everyone is pretty much on the same page that he should not have assaulted. He assaulted somebody. And that shouldn't happen. Yeah. So we don't have to debate that. Let's just put that to the side.
Yeah.
That's actually a huge debate.
Say it again?
That's actually a huge debate right now because everyone's up in arms saying that's how a man defends his wife. And that's the narration that's going on.
As a feminist, I'm going to disagray with that, but go ahead.
I'm gonna intervene on that type of situation. Scenarially.
Finish.
Okay. I was about to rip it, please.
I was just making a quick point.
I love Will Smith, but that just bothered me.
So that was I guess we were having a whole conversation on morals, but
there it is.
Yes, it's internet. But what we learned from basic grade school, you don't hit people. No matter what happens, you don't fight, you don't assault people. That's kind of 80% of society agrees that you just don't hit people, okay? That's what we teach the children, okay? So, even Will, peace and love, all this other stuff. You just don't hit, So, it's interesting when he went on stage and started crying, and I'm here to protect. So, his main defense was that he was there to protect. Now, talking to a few people, especially earlier conversation with Jade today, was like, but he didn't protect Jada. And I say that because he laughed with everybody else. He was laughing with everyone else. It's not until Jada gave him
He
that.
reacted. He didn't do protection. He reacted.
Right.
But then this is also going into Jade's point. Like when you see your wife is upset by a joke that someone made, then you're going to defend her honor publicly. And that's what people are
But
applauding.
let me ask you a question. Why publicly? Why? If it's about protecting your spouse, what is what everybody else think? Why is that important? If you're protecting your wife and her feelings, explain that.
I think because their whole, I think, and this is just my opinion, that because their whole life is in the public, under the public scrutiny, like the whole relationship, every single last choice that a person in the limelight makes, it comes with fame. I agree with you that they're a human first and a celebrity second, but this is what our society has done. We built these.
No, I think for Will Smith, he's a celebrity first and a human second. Because what he did, I believe, is posturing. He did that public display for attention. He has talked about it many times. He's even talked about it on his wife's Red Table Talk about him always, sometimes he doesn't do things necessarily for her. He does it because it's what he needs to do for the attention, for whatever it is. And because to me, if you're going to talk about that, I'm here because I think I'm supposed to, I have a role to protect people. He should have already felt what she was feeling when he said that joke. The fact that he laughed meant that he wasn't thinking about her.
And
that's fair.
But I do agree with Jade on that aspect because I really feel as though you going on stage, it's not stating that you're defending your wife's honor.
No.
And putting your hands on another dude. To me, you basically going behind the stage, talking to that man with your wife next to you, telling him, letting him know, like, look.
And say, apologize to my wife. Apologize.
Or, yo, keep her name out your mouth.
You know what? When he screamed that later, if he had screamed that from his seat from jump, I would have been more impressed. If as soon as he made the joke, he would have been like, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. And he would have said that from his seat right after the joke happened. Then I would have been like he was protecting her, or he was reacting and protecting her because he saw she was hurting and decided to say, yo, not cool.
Or it's multiple ways he could have done it. Sure. He could have did it backstage while they was on break, little bit of commercial break. Or if he won the award, say, I'd like to thank everybody for this honor.
Yeah.
Talk about it and bring up for Chris Rock, just to let you know, we appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
Watch your step or watch your mouth.
It could have been a great moment for Will Smith to walk up and say, laughing at it, and walked off, and that would have made her case.
It was multiple ways, and that's what I said. Everybody has an idea of what he could have done, but he went the wrong way, and that's what made me feel.
He made a mistake.
He made a mistake, but we don't know how costly that mistake was.
But this is the whole thing.
It's not going to cost him anything.
No. I'm not saying to him. I'm talking to us as African American men.
And that brought up a different conversation.
I passed him the dot.
This has brought up a conversation I had earlier. Like, if you have the freedom of speech, you also have to be aware of the consequences that comes with whatever you say. If a white person says the N-word to a black person, the black person gets to haul off, right? People say that's right, people say that's wrong. And now we're at this junction that Will Smith defended his wife publicly by assaulting the person who attacked her and made her feel less than. And everyone's saying that if you go to your wife's defense, then that's okay.
Yeah, but in this situation, there can't be like, I know I saw a couple of things online. Well, like if you don't, I saw it written in a way with like a heart, and I want a man that protects me like will protect Jada. That is the most ignorant. By the way, if anyone's out there, you can leave comments. Stop. Okay? Yeah. Because you're going to end up with a lot of relationships where it's going to end up with someone in jail, dead, or hurt. Because every time you get offended, and first of all, being a feminist, she could have stuck up for herself. She could have said, "This is not acceptable."
Right.
They could have just walked. They could have left. They could have just left. They could have just got up and left if it wasn't.
Right.
Now, I personally think it would have been better if Jada would have got on that stage and smacked him in the face. That would have been
That would have made sense to me.
That's what she should have done. She should have got up and smacked him in the face. Now, I know that there have been
That's
women
still assault.
watching a lot of the social.
Yeah, but
no, I'm
it
not
would
saying
have
it's
been
not
more
assault. I'm not saying it's not
expected.
assault. But if somebody was going to smack somebody, it should have been Jada smacking Chris. The problem is that there have been women, and Black women specifically, who have been saying because there's so many debates on so many different levels, but they're talking about how Black women are always deemed to that they could take care of themselves. I'm not looking at whether she's Black or green or purple or brown or whatever. I'm looking as a woman. I'm saying I would have defended myself before I would have allowed my partner to go up there, because I was reacting. He didn't need to react.
Yeah.
He didn't need to, because he didn't do it from jump. He didn't do it from jump. He did it because he was defending, because he didn't want to see me hurt. Because he wasn't hurt that Chris Rock said that. He was hurt that I was hurt. He wasn't hurt that he said that. He thought it was funny.
I'm actually glad Jada didn't go up there, because if she would have went up there, then this topic would be the death of comedy. Because you can't joke about anything, you can't talk about anything, and you can't talk about anyone. And yes, there are plenty of topics to talk about, but then that's going to go into the whole thing of what you can and when you can't say it, and that would.
You have to know your audience.
Well, we're almost
you have to know your audience.
30-minute mark. So last statements.
They were both wrong. That's my statement. They were both wrong, and they're both idiots. I think Will more than Chris, though.
I think the situation could have been handled differently. I still don't think that there was a problem with the joke necessarily. However, we do need to address certain things. Like if a celebrity is going through something like alopecia or Tourette's or any other medical condition, and we joke about that, then the joke needs to have a disclaimer, or we need something better than just feeling attacked.
Exactly, and I totally agree with both of these great co-hosts. But it's just the fact that, like I said, I really feel as though some type of discussion before film is about to be set, discussion amongst people so they could get an idea of what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. You're in front of the stage, you know I'm going to be targeting the front. What can I say or have an idea that,
Well, did that happen?
Offend?
Do we know that didn't happen?
We don't.
We don't.
We don't know.
But at the same time, it would make more sense to start doing that and evaluating what to say and what not to say, so people can feel comfortable or at ease when it comes down to a comedian joking at a certain situation.
It happens more. All
right, cool. That was the last statements, and mine is very simple. They're both rich. They're both paid. They're both famous. They'll be fine, and we'll move on. And it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things of life. It really doesn't.
Hey.
Really doesn't. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sure this conversation is going to go on we might even do another part to this, because a bunch of people wanted to jump on tonight. We did it last minute, and we shall see what happens. And hopefully people can make peace and it'll be over. But for something tells me this is not over yet.
No, because everybody... Let me shut up. I'll wait till the next episode.
Yeah. Well,
right?
That's not how you hit a man, like, in front of the world. That's all I'm saying. All right. Chris,
he did slap him.
Enough respect, Chris, because not me. I couldn't do it. You held on.
Me either. Like, I'm being honest. Somebody smacked me. I'm breaking somebody's shit.
I give Chris
the show must go on. I would have been Chris Rock. I would have kept the show going.
He's good. He's good. He's good. All right. We're out.